Well, do you have questions about God, about life, but you might not be ready to step into a church or talk to a pastor yet? Well, Alpha is a way to ask those questions without judgment. To tell us more about Alpha, I'm joined by Ryan Moffat, the Ontario Regional Director for Alpha. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, so tell me, how did you get involved with Alpha?
Well, my Alpha journey started about 13 years ago. I grew up in a Christian home, but as I went through high school and college, I sort of stepped away from my faith and was building a career for myself. You know, I wanted to be the guy that lived in the condo and drive the expensive car, and my focus really became that. And what I found was that I was starting to actually see that happen. And I look back and I think, you know, thought I was living the dream, but the reality was that my life was actually in quite a dark place. And during one of the darkest times when I was suffering with major depression and going through some anxiety, my marriage was falling apart. And my wife and I went for a walk. And we were walking down Yonge Street and we came across a sign that said, "Discuss faith, life, and God." And reluctantly, I went at the encouragement of my wife and discovered an amazing place where I was able to meet who Jesus really is.
And most times when people hear Alpha, they think of a place where non-Christians will go. What I find interesting about your story is that you were a Christian, but you still had questions and you wanted to delve deeper into your relationship with Jesus.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Alpha is really at its core an evangelism tool. However, it works really well for people who are like me, who maybe have had questions and are struggling. It's also a wonderful experience for a Christian if they sit next to their friend who's coming to faith. It just changes how you see Jesus in an amazing new way as you watch your friend's life transformed.
Yeah.
So it really kind of does both things, a discipleship tool and an evangelism tool at the same time.
So we're going to follow your story a little bit more, but let's delve into exactly what Alpha is a little bit more and how did it start? Because maybe there are people at home that are clueless and like, what's Alpha? I don't understand. So explain that a little bit more.
Well, Alpha came out of the UK, of a church called Holy Trinity Brompton. It was first pioneered by Nicky Gumbel, who's featured in our videos. It's been running for about 30 years here in Canada. Millions of people worldwide have taken it. It's in 169 countries. Our videos have been translated in 112 languages. So it really has had a long history of serving the local church as an evangelism tool. And
so how does it actually work?
well, what it does is it's a 12-week video program.
Okay.
So you come in and there's food.
Food's always good.
Food's good.
Especially free.
Oh, and good food. We encourage all of our Alphas to have great food.
Yeah.
When we look at this and we say, you know, when Jesus was engaging with the disciples, often it was over food.
Yes.
So we have a great meal, and then we have a great talk, which is played as a video with Nikki and then a couple of other presenters. And then we go into a time of discussion, and we say that discussion is an opportunity to ask any question. It's an opportunity to be able to explore things that you may be wrestling with or struggling with. And when everybody has a chance to share their opinion and be able to have that open space where they feel welcomed and not judged, amazing things happen. And we tell people, rely on the Holy Spirit because He's going to speak through people in a new and unique way.
And Alpha happens in many different places. I've heard of Alpha courses that have happened in bars and pubs, restaurants, not just in a church.
That's right. That's the beauty of Alpha.
Yeah.
It can be run in any context. We have people who run it in homes. I just spoke to a man just recently who's going to run it as a motorcycle shop.
Oh,
I said, you're going to be very busy because there's a lot of guys who would
Yes.
love to go there. But you're right. It runs everywhere, and it's a very simple thing to do.
So let's go back to your story. You go to Alpha. You're going through a lot of challenges. As you said, your marriage is at the brinks, going through depression. What did Alpha do for you when you went?
Well, what it did is it created a space where, first of all, I could speak my fears. On a Sunday morning, that's really difficult to do.
Yeah.
But I was able to share, and I actually, the funny thing is I discovered as we sat around the table that other people had problems too. And in those discussions, I think what ended up happening for me is I discovered that Jesus loved them, and as a result of Jesus loving them, then He must love me too. And so I basically came to a place where I saw Him completely differently, and my life was changed from that point forward. So.
What happened to your marriage?
Well, my marriage was restored. Yeah, and my wife went through Alpha with me. She saw it change me. She said, "Who are you? You know, like you're changing. Your heart is being melted." And I saw her in a new light. I fell in love with her again, and I fell in love with people. And I just felt, you know, that God was giving me eyes to see hurts in others, and that was really what was most evident for me.
And that propelled you to now become the Ontario Regional Director of Alpha.
That's right.
Tell us about that journey.
Well, 2 years ago, I was walking on my lawn asking God, do you want me to take a job? And that was this job. And he was leading me out of the business community and into this. And I've had not been in ministry before, so it was quite a stretch for me. But I can tell you, I think it might be, other than your job, this is the best job in the world. And I get a chance to meet and engage with such amazing people in multiple different denominations and backgrounds and histories, all who are trying to show Jesus to people and help them to meet Jesus, and it's thrilling to see the results of that.
So obviously your passions changed from wanting to be in the condo in downtown Toronto to really wanting to be able to touch people with the honest truth of who Jesus is.
That's right, and that's the power of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Only God can do that, and I thank Him every day.
Yeah. So Alpha has this new campaign that you're doing. Tell us about this.
Oh, it's so exciting. We were blessed with an amazing opportunity. Bear Grylls, who's an outdoor adventurer, he actually had his faith revitalized on an Alpha years ago. He came to Alpha International and said, I would love to use my notoriety and my brand to be able to give you an opportunity to feature me and invite people to attend an Alpha as a result. And so last year in September, we started running a campaign. It ran from Vancouver to Halifax. We saw 11 different areas run this campaign.
Wow.
45,000 people came to an Alpha, but the number that's the most significant is 19,000 people indicated that they had either met Jesus or began a restored relationship with Him. It was fascinating. And so here we are coming through at the end of the campaign, and now we've got Toronto, Ottawa, London, and PEI, and St. John's that are also doing it again.
That's
so
cool.
It's all coming around again. It's going to be exciting.
Well, we have a video clip of what's happening, the campaign.
Great.
Take a look at this.
We all explore, every day, small ways and big. We find ourselves, reinvent ourselves, define ourselves, publish our lives. We want to squeeze all the life out of life and hit pause on moments we wish could last. For all are searching, it's rare to find time to think and talk about the big questions of life. About faith and reason and God and meaning. But exploring is good. We're built for it.
That's exciting. So on billboards, digital campaign.
That's right. You pretty much can't miss it. You're going to see it everywhere.
That's awesome. And the website again is?
It's www.alphacanada.org or tryalpha.ca.
Awesome. Thanks again,
Thank
Ryan.
you. Pleasure.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.